Hey, I'm Kid Adams.
And I'm old mate Nate.
And you're listening to The Late Show on IPL Radio. What's been happening in the news lately, Nate?
There has been a lot happening in the news lately, actually.
Including?
Well, there's
something to work with here.
There's a lot of AI stories coming out. There's obviously the biggest one I've been paying attention to, and that is the Russell Brand.
Right, yeah. I'm
Russell
not
Brand
fully
story.
across this thing, but he does have some pretty serious sexual assault allegations out against him. They're starting to pile up. There's more than one, or...
Let's just say he's been hit by cancel culture. Now, people don't realize sometimes cancel culture is needed. It is not cancel culture, but canceling someone is needed. Like in the case of like Harvey Weinstein, 100%. Where it's been proven. Yeah. But in Russell Brand's case, it's like double-edged sword in a sense, because you have to wonder who's got the negative motive here. Is it Russell Brand himself?
It's interesting because his sort of brand that he has built, that he has built over the last few years has been someone that sort of speaks out against mainstream media a lot.
Similar to like Alex Jones, but I'd say more sophisticated in the way he articulates his words.
Yeah, and post daily and stuff, telling people to basically fight back against the establishment and to not believe mainstream media. And I imagine that he probably gets under the skin of a few people.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a little bit of it. To be honest, I can only listen to him carry on for so long, and he does it every
It sort of feels
day.
like he's screaming at you sometimes.
So there is the whole thing that now with this, they're saying that it could just be basically like a witch hunt, and that it's
I've heard both sides. I've heard both sides of the story.
Yeah.
So the left, and I say the left because it is really the left that are spinning this narrative. Right. Which is believe all victims, which, you should take people at face value. But at this point in time, at this broadcast, at this recording, there is no evidence that has been proven in a court of law.
Still innocent until proven guilty?
Yes, well, but the thing is, cancel culture has now cancelled him and proven him guilty by... What's the word? Guilty by... So the left is spinning the narrative that he's foreseen that, Me Too movement will hit him, so he's created this narrative that the media is the enemy, and he's been preparing for this so that by the time these accusations come out, as they just recently have, people will naturally distrust the media and then trust him. Yeah. And if that's the case, he's done that very well. However, I remember 2014, the Me Too movement was roughly 2017 where it became huge. I think it was 2006 where the term was invented, but it was only really taking off in 2017, so that's like 11 years.
Yeah.
And he started his YouTube channel, was a lot more left-leaning politically, and he's still a little bit promiscuous when he started all this.
Yeah.
But that was all back in 2014 and 15 when he created his first YouTube series, which is The Trues on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that was left-leaning, and over time he's become right-leaning.
Oh, right. And now he's gone over to Rumble. And
now he's gotten, he's on Rumble. YouTube has decided to demonetize him, stating the clause in the creator's personal life, like you have to be a representative essentially of YouTube. So your personal life has to be somewhat moral.
Standard,
yeah. So they say if you're doing bad things, you don't have a right to earn money on that platform. Yeah. Funnily enough, to letting him still upload, they're happily taking 100% of the ad revenue that put on that.
That's a weird double standard that they're happy to profit from it, but won't allow him to, even though he's still technically not proven
guilty. Yeah,
guilty.
So the left side is 100% saying that he's articulated this, he's smart, he's figured it out.
Yeah,
and the right on their side is obviously the common narrative that's going around, which is the media are attacking him, because it's funny, back when he was all about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, when he was that party boy image, in all those movies he did, like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, that other rock star movie he did.
Yeah, where he played the same character through
basically, yeah. All of those movies, he was glorifying sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and guess what? Everyone loved him. In fact, they were giving him brand deals. And now that he's saying, an untested vaccine, and this is basically roughly
he delves into
his
conspiracy theories amongst other things, and exposing a lot of not mainstream media, facts and
Alternative
science
media,
as
yeah.
well. Yeah, alternative media.
And he has a platform to do it because of the amount of followers he has gained by being in Hollywood. But now that he's turned on Hollywood, suddenly everyone's going after him and saying, "Oh, look at him. Look at this guy. He's obviously done this bad thing, and so he shouldn't have a platform." Then if he doesn't have a platform, guess what? He can't continue talking about the dangers of untesting vaccines and the people that stand to profit from an untested vaccine just by financially.
I think the worst thing about it would be like, because I don't really want to say one way or another. I don't want to sort of tar him with that brush, and I don't want to say that it couldn't happen, especially after the Aston Kutcher Mila Kunis thing backing their co-star from that 70s show, and now that it's turned around and made them look bad. Like, they actually wrote a letter of recommendations for this guy, and now it's all backfired in their face. So I don't really want to say one way or another.
Oh, look, 100%. If he is guilty, which is very likely, he, by his own admission, had said that he was very promiscuous.
Yeah.
He did a lot of bad things, but he said it was all consensual. From his perspective, he vehemently denies all accusations that the mainstream media have put against him. But if he did do these things, we have to look at the environment he was in. Who gave him the platform? It was the BBC and Channel 4 in the UK before he went to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood escalated
were
it.
Other people in the BBC
Allowing
aware of
him.
it at the time and allowing him to continue his behaviour
They have both
because
denied,
they were making ratings on
They
it.
have both denied any access to any police investigation, as far as I'm aware, and definitely any journalist investigation.
So they had no way of
talking
knowing.
about any complaints inside about Russell Brand. They're saying they are under no obligation to talk about these things, will not talk about it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the BBC and that are happy to trash Russell Brand, but they're not going to talk about anything that could potentially harm their own brand by their lack of, organising and creating a safe work environment.
Where is their duty of care in that sort of situation, So,
and that's not to say we shouldn't believe the victims either. At the moment, I wouldn't call them victims. They're accusers because they haven't been proven. They're accusing him of doing these things. If guilty, in the scenario where Russell Brand is guilty, he deserves every punishment he will get.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the worst things about this, is that there is the potential that he is guilty. And similar to the Brittany Higgins case here in Australia, it was the media attention that contaminated the investigation and led to a mistrial. So we don't get to know if the accused was ever actually guilty or not guilty. It went to a mistrial. And Brittany Higgins, who could be a legitimate victim, ended up not getting her sort of justice. So
in support, I try and look at things from both perspectives. In support of the victims and the left that are accusing Russell, people are saying from the right, why are they all just coming out now? That's the common thing that the right is saying. Why are they all just coming out now?
20 years ago,
20 years later.
So long ago, why come out
from
now?
a victim's perspective, how hard it is to speak out, potentially destroy your own life. You got to justify your facts. You got to justify something that happened to you that wasn't even
some people don't want to be the victim as well.
That's right.
Some people don't want to admit that they were a victim and they were in a situation they didn't have control of.
And when someone who has spoken out for the first time and it's starting to get out, this person did it, you can support, you feel more comfortable not being the first person coming out and supporting. So from their perspective, it would make sense that more people would come out once the story had broken and other people are already aware of it.
Yeah, that's a fair call. A lot of people may have kept it to themselves for the rest of their days.
And there's still maybe more out there.
Speaking out.
But in support for Russell Brand, from his perspective, you've got to see that he's in a unique position. He is more than just a mega celebrity. He's on the level.
Make him a target, but I mean, if he's guilty for it, he's guilty for it. And even if it's a hard one, because even if it was just like he wasn't forcibly getting women to do things unconsensually,
there's one charge for that.
There's just like his sort of status, and he could easily imply that he could ruin somebody's career if they don't sort of go along with sort of what he is doing, So, interesting situation. And some of the things that he said on his channel are very true. as well. You
Oh,
know, like he has
absolutely.
exposed a lot of truths, and he does speak a lot of truths. And it would be a shame if that information is discredited
because of an action he'd previously committed.
Yeah.
Look, I think everyone deserves the right to change. I wouldn't. This is how I would see this situation unfolding with the information we currently have. I would see that potentially he has done some wrong things.
Yeah.
I don't think it is as necessarily, from what we currently understand, do not think it is as bad as some people are making out. I don't think he's some creepy, I don't think that from what I see of his character.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
It's weird, but then as soon as you say that, you're sort of you're creating
a narrative that we don't know,
or like a scale or something of levels of sexual assault, and any sexual assault is bad. You know,
what I'm saying
it's
is
just like
I reckon he would have crossed some barriers.
It really comes down to a black or white situation, and
he deserves what he would get from that. What I'm saying is, I
his
believe
victims deserve justice.
That's correct. Yeah, I think what would have happened is he would have crossed the barrier, across the line. People may not necessarily been comfortable telling him because he's the star of the show. He's the guy making the money, bringing in the profits, and he's also the one that's partying and unaware of himself. So he would have, at the level he was at,
just status itself sometimes.
He would have not been, in the moment, he would not be thinking, I'm doing this wrong, because at the moment he's thinking, I've made it, I'm a celebrity, I've got money, I've got this, and, you know, I think that's where he would have crossed the line and potentially been very inappropriate. But that being said, I think in his later years, since like 2014, 15, when he began his YouTube career and started becoming this person who questions things, I'm not saying conspiracy theorist, but and just the questioning of things.
Well.
What's that?
And sober now as well.
Yeah, he's sober as well. So with all this, I believe there's room to change and grow. If someone's made a mistake, they shouldn't necessarily be labelled by that for life, but they should be held accountable.
Absolve them of their previous misdeeds, though.
Exactly, yeah.
So maybe he does, maybe he doesn't have some grievances in his past to answer for.
But it would be hard as well in his scenario.
I just hope that any evidence isn't contaminated by media speculation.
That's right. We don't want to make any accusations that aren't true, you know, come out later in the future that they aren't true. I can say what I feel from the information we have, but that's at the level we can't say anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are just opinions and stuff, and they shouldn't be taken as anything more than that. But it is based on just what we're seeing in mainstream media. This information isn't hard to find. They're doing a lot of specials at the moment, all the mainstream media. So interesting story watching this unfold. Definitely a high-profile story. A horrible story, either way. Obviously, if it is true, that probably be the worst case scenario, but I mean, if it isn't true, it's horrible accusations to have had thrown at someone. So either way, it's a sort of lose-lose situation, I guess.
Someone's going to lose.
Yeah, that's horrible.